FMR Romualdez, Kamara, House of the People. Tuwing Sabado, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng umaga at replays tuwing Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi. Dito lang sa FMR Quezon 94.3, ang inyong favorite music radio. Alamin natin ang mga programa at aktibidades ng mga kinatawan sa
persons and guests present today.
May we request our guest, if your name is acknowledged, to please recognize your name. From the Department of Budget and Management, Secretary Amina Pangandaman, Yusek Janet Abuel, Yusek Wilford Wong, Yusek Gades Hope Libira, Yusek Maria Francesca del Rosario, Yusek Margo Salcedo, Yusek Joselito Basilio, Yusek Leo Angelo Larcia, Assistant Secretary Aquiles Gerald Bravo, Assistant Secretary Romeo Matthew Balangquit, Assistant Secretary Clarito Alejandro Maxino, Assistant Secretary Rolando Toledo, Assistant Secretary Gerardo Maula, Assistant Secretary Mary Ann C. De La Vega. From the Department of Finance, Secretary Benjamin Jokno, Undersecretary Cielo Magno, Treasurer of the Philippines Rosalia De Leon, Undersecretary Alu Dorotan Yoseco, Undersecretary Catherine Pong, Assistant Secretary Dakila Napaw, Assistant Secretary Yocrosinio Bernabe, Assistant Secretary Juby Dandanokrata, BIR Commissioner Romeo Lumagi Jr., DOC Commissioner Bienvenido Rubio. From the National Economic and Development Authority, Secretary Arsenio Balisaca, Undersecretary Rosemary Edelion, Undersecretary Joseph Capuno, Undersecretary Melbourne Pana, Undersecretary Crystal Uy, Philippine Statistics Authority National Statistician Dennis Mapa, Undersecretary Sara Daway Dupanes, Undersecretary Reynaldo Cancio, Assistant Secretary Roderick Planta, Assistant Secretary Jonathan Uy, Assistant Secretary Greg Pineda, PPP Center Deputy Executive Director Jeffrey Manago, Director Desiree Narvaez and Mr. Lorenzo Atanasio. From the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Governor Eli Remolona Jr., Senior Assistant Governor and General Counsel Elmore Capule, Senior Assistant Governor Iluminada Sikat, Assistant Governor Lynn Javier, Managing Director Leila Magda Rivera, Director Dennis Bautista, Director City Hanisha Botocan, Chief Financial Services Officer Richard Hadulan, Chief Investment Analytics Charito Malto, and Bank Officer Marides Lee. May we also acknowledge the presence of our members of the House. Speaker Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, Deputy Speaker Isidro Ungab, Majority Leader Jose Manix Dalipe, Senior Deputy Majority Leader Ferdinand Alexander Marcos, Senior Deputy Speaker Dong Gonzales, Deputy Majority Leader Antonio Tonepel Albano, Deputy Majority Leader Wilter Palma, Deputy Majority Leader Marilyn Remisia Sagabas, Deputy Majority Leader Franz Pumaren, Deputy Majority Leader David J. Minority Leader Marcelino Libana, Senior Deputy Minority Leader Paul Ruiz Daza, Deputy Minority Leader Franz Castro, Deputy Majority Leader Erwin Tulfo, Deputy Majority Leader Christopher Go. Members of the Vice Chairs of the Committee on Appropriations, Senior Vice Chair Stella Luz Kimbo, Vice Chair Jose Alvarez, Vice Chair Jose Joboy Aquino II, Vice Chair Ching Bernos, Vice Chair Angelica Natasha Co, Deputy Majority Leader Janet Garin, Vice Chair, Vice Chair Joseph Jojo Lara, Vice Chair Jocelyn Lim Cachong, Vice Chair Francisco Jose Bingo Matugas II, Vice Chair Janice Salimbangon, and from the members of the House and the Committee on Appropriations, Representative Maria Vanessa Aumentado, Representative Yasser Alonto Balindong, Representative Edgar Chato, Representative Solomon Chongalao, Representative Ernesto Junicio Jr., Representative Jaime Fresnedi, Representative Mark Go, Representative Edsel Lagman, Representative Arnan Panaligan, Representative Agustina Dominic Dichetina Pancho, Representative Salvador Pleito, Representative Maria Alana Samantha Santos, Representative Christian Onabia, Representative Rosana Ria Vergara, Representative J.C. Abalos, and Representative Arlene Rosas, Deputy Majority Leader Christine Singson Mehan, Representative Roman Romulo, Representative Mark Coanco, Representative Francisco Kiko Benitez, Representative Evgeny Vicente Emano, Representative Filemon Espares, Representative Isidro Lumayag, Representative Raul Daniel Manuel, Representative Rodante Marcoleta, Representative Journey Jet Nisay, Representative Janet Lee Pimentel, Representative Joey Sarte Salceda, Representative Ron Salo, and Representative Eduardo Bro Eddie Villanueva. That's all, Madam Chair.
May we recognize Speaker Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez for his opening remarks.
Thank you and good morning. Esteemed Deputy Speakers, Honorable Majority Leaders, respected Minority Leaders, distinguished colleagues, to our honored guest, Secretary Benjamin Diokno of the Department of Finance, Governor Eli Remoliona Jr. of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Secretary Amina F. Pangandaman of the Department of Budget and Management, Secretary Arsenio Balisacan of the National Economic and Development Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to this very significant event. I am deeply honored to be with you before you as we convene to address a pivotal cornerstone of our nation's progress, our national budget, considered as one of the most important pieces of legislation. Today marks the start of the deliberations on the proposed 2024 national budget, and we are honored to hear our guests explain the parameters used in coming up with the 5.768 trillion national budget. We will hear from these experts the macroeconomic and growth assumptions, government's fiscal and revenue collection performance, and expenditure priorities. The budget deliberations are a meticulous exercise that requires accuracy, objectivity, and most of all, transparency. As we hold the power of the purse, it is our duty to completely scrutinize the proposed 2024 national budget and deliver results that would sustain the gains of the past year and support the government's priorities and policy directions as identified under the 8-point socio-economic program and the Philippine Development Plan 2023 to 2028. We need to closely examine the budget proposals of every department and agency and analyze every program and activity and project to ensure that the resources are allocated and optimized on the right priorities that address the economic and social changes of our beloved country. With utmost diligence, we will ensure that every centavo of the proposed budget of the 5.768 trillion budget will be judiciously spent. Obligasyon po natin na tiyakin na bawat sentimong buwis na ibinayad ng ating mga kababayan ay magagamit ng tama at nararapat. Bawat sentimo nila may serbisyong kapalit mula sa gobyerno. Having received the budget proposal 20 days earlier than the constitutional deadline, I am confident that the House of Representatives will be able to deliberate and pass the national budget on time and transmit the same to the Senate. I can assure everyone that the House of Representatives will not take a break and until and unless we have passed this very important piece of legislation. Sisiguruhin natin na may pasa natin ang 2024 General Appropriations Bill sa loob ng 5 linggo. 4 na linggo sa komite at 1 linggo sa plenaryo. Thus, I call upon the members of this august body to actively participate in the budget deliberation. Listen and respect everyone's view, particularly the concerns of our colleagues from the minority, and reach a consensus that is beneficial to the country, especially to the poor and marginalized among our people. With an unyielding commitment to unity and accountability, let me assure you that the House of the People will diligently, swiftly, and resolutely take action on the proposed budget as outlined in the National Expenditure Program. We are completely mindful of the weight of this obligation, and we recognize the trust and faith reposed in us by our citizens. Together, let us be a champion of fiscal prudence, effective resource allocation, and transparent governance. Through our collective efforts, we will continue to uplift the lives of the Filipino people and pave the way for the Philippines with a brighter future. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Salamat, Speaker Martin. Muli, magandang umaga sa ating lahat. On behalf of the Committee on Appropriations Chair, the Honorable Elisa Aldico, it is an honor to welcome the members of the Development Budget and Coordination Committee to discuss the macroeconomic assumptions that will shape our legislative viewpoint on the proposed fiscal year 2024 national budget. As we embark on this journey, it is crucial to acknowledge the dynamic and ever-evolving nature of our economy, both on a domestic and global scale. The decisions we make, the policies we adopt, and the assumptions we hold will collectively influence the course of our nation's economic growth and development. In the coming fiscal year 2024, we are at a juncture where prudent macroeconomic assumptions are of paramount importance. We must consider the lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, the shifts in international trade dynamics, and the domestic challenges that continue to shape our economic landscape. As legislators, we must craft policies that foster economic resilience, inclusivity, and sustainability. In doing so, we must carefully scrutinize the assumptions that underpin our economic forecasts, ensuring they are grounded in reality and considerate of potential risks. One key macroeconomic assumption that demands our attention is the trajectory of GDP growth. We must assess the factors driving our economic expansion from domestic consumption and investment to the performance of key sectors such as manufacturing, services, and agriculture. A realistic projection of GDP growth will guide our efforts in formulating policies that stimulate economic activity while maintaining fiscal discipline. We must strike a balance between short-term recovery and long-term growth, fostering an environment that encourages job creation and sustainable economic opportunities. The global landscape presents both opportunities and challenges that influence our economic assumptions. Trade dynamics, for instance, are transforming due to shifts in global supply chains and emerging technologies. As we set our revenue targets, we must consider the impact of these changes on our exports, imports, and overall balance of payments. Inflation and monetary policy are integral components of our macroeconomic assumptions. We must closely monitor the inflation rate and ensure that the central bank's monetary policies remain effective in maintaining price stability. In conclusion, our legislative perspective for the Philippines in 2024 is intricately linked to the macroeconomic assumptions we make. Our responsibility as lawmakers and policymakers is to foster an environment that supports economic growth, job creation, and sustainable development. by carefully evaluating GDP growth, trade dynamics, inflation, and monetary policy, we can craft a budget that not only responds to the current economic realities, but also position our nation and our people for a prosperous and resilient future. Our targets are not distant dreams, they are within our reach, waiting for us to seize them. Let us work together with unwavering determination and overcome any challenges that come our way. And at this point, Mr. Speaker, we accept your 5-week challenge. So thank you, and we shall now begin with the presentations of the DBCC, beginning with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. So may we recognize Governor.
Ma'am, we have a short intro.
Yes, the DBCC Chair Secretary Amina Pangandaman for her opening remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Majority Floor Leader Manuel Jose Delipe, to the House leadership and other members of the House of Representatives, of course to our Vice Chair of Committee on Appropriations, Congressman Stella Kimbo. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On behalf of the Development Budget Coordination Committee, I wish to thank you for giving us the opportunity to present the fiscal year 2024 National Expenditure Program. With the indulgence of the Chair and this committee, the DBCC members wish to make the presentations in this order. First, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Governor Eli Remolona Jr. will present the developments in the monetary, financial, and external sectors, as well as the outlook for the rest of the year and for the medium term. Second is National Economic and Development Authority Secretary Arsenio Balisacan, who will provide an overview of the Philippines' economic performance and the prospects for future growth and development for fiscal year 2023 to 2028. Next is the Department of Finance Secretary Benjamin Jokno, who will present updates of our fiscal and revenue collection performance, as well as on how the budget will be financed in 2023, 2024, and over the medium term. Finally, as the Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management, I will present the macro overview of the fiscal year 2024 NEP and our priority expenditures. As an overview, the proposed national budget for next year amounts to 5.768 trillion pesos, higher by 9.5% than this year's national budget. It is the first budget to be fully prepared under the administration of President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.